Welcome to Uncopyable Women in Business. I'm Kay Miller, also known as Muffler Mama. I've been the #1 salesperson in a male-dominated industry, a successful entrepreneur for over 30 years, and now my mission is to help you build a business and brand nobody else can compete with. If you're ready to break out of the pack and create your own uncopyable advantage, stay tuned. My guests and I are here to help. Hey, welcome to part 2 of my conversation with Pegine. In part 1, we learned why she only needs one name. And in this episode, she tells us how she discovered her unique gifts and how you can be bold, stand out, and get paid what you're worth. Let's jump back in. I want to point out that you have several books. The one behind me is called To Lead, and I highly recommend it. And I know, Pegine, you have other books. We talk in Uncopyable so much about branding is one of the things. And you are a branded woman. And I told you that I looked at some old pictures of you and you had kind of a brown hairdo like mine, shoulder length. And then I look at the new Pegine and you literally have white hair that is so cute. It's a Mohawk. Tune into YouTube. Got to see this woman. Bold glasses. You look the opposite of mousy. So I love your brand and I really do. You've given us some ways that the rest of us can tap into what you have created, what for yourself. And it sounds like you do. You still need constant positives fed into your brain. And we all do. And so those are good specific things to listen to your motivational album and get those positive messages from you, what you say to yourself. And I like the way that you really, I can't think of the word, but it's not just, I'm going to walk around and be positive, say positive things. You formalized it. That's what I meant. Formalized. And I do that too. If the messages that come in, if they're from your brain, you got to work on those, but you can really benefit by messages coming from elsewhere.
Well, the truth of the matter is that messages are coming to you left, right, and all that. So if you watch TV, honestly, we should all be walking around with tons of pills because of every prescription, right? And people
with all the side effects,
right? Or that you could look at the news, you could look at things like that. You're trying to be, I want to educate myself. And the truth of the matter is, okay, well, do you? Are you, somebody said to me, well, how come not you doing this? I said, first off, I made some certain decisions in my life. I did not run for Congress. I didn't run for Senate. I didn't run for political office. I supported people and I was in it. And what I recognized for myself, that's not my calling. That's not what I was put here to do. That's perfectly okay, right? I have to watch out and protect myself and my vibes. My vibes are everything. Nobody else can do it for me. Nobody else can change it for me. I'm the only one that could do it. So therefore, I have to be super aware. And it took time. It took a lot of time. There's a great app. I mean, it's great. It's called the I Am app. I have nothing to do with it, but it's called the I Am app. And
by the way, I'm going to put all the links. I'm going to put all this information in the show notes. So don't worry if you don't catch the I Am app or anything else.
Yeah. So I use an I Am app so that if I'm sitting at a doctor's office, I won't pick up the newspaper. I just won't do it. I protect myself too much. My brain, my soul is a maybe. So I don't know if you could see it. So the app comes up on your phone and it's this one. Gratitude amplifies the blessings in my life, making them even more meaningful. And I'm honest with myself. About how I feel. Look at this. I have 165 days of continuous looking at this. I have kindness in my heart. I'm in control of how I respond to others' actions. These are important words because they don't come naturally to us. And certainly if you didn't grow up in a house where you hear that, you don't naturally think that. Except when you think those things and we read those things and you start with this, you feel amazing. You feel like incredible. You feel powerful. I have on my wall words. I am vivacious. I am joy. I'm highly favored. I'm prosperous, abundant. I'm pure positive energy. I lead, impact, influence others. Everything always works out for me magnificently. I have them written because if I'm here, if I'm sitting in my chair and I'm writing, if I happen to capture in the news, for instance, I need to have it. If I've looked at that news for 5 seconds, I need 10 minutes to just fill myself with joy and power and positivity impact. Do you drive a car?
Do I drive a car? Oh, yeah. Not very
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I've had a
So
few
you drive a
accidents
car, and
going backwards.
have you ever noticed that you get annoyed when you drive a car sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do something called ping ping. And ping is I need to change my attitude. So you cut in front of me, there are some choice words that may want to come out of my mouth. That doesn't serve me, right? So I started doing ping ping. I point my finger at all the cars at the stop sign and I go, Bing, I am blessing you today, mate. You're going to find all that money you've been looking to. Bing. You know that opportunity you thought missed? It's coming to you today. Bing. Well, just look at that smile. Aren't you cute? Now, I'm not saying it to their face. I'm just pointing at them and I'm blessing them because I'd rather do that. And then my rest of the day is amazing. My day flies. I am in pure bliss because I took control of who I choose to be in this world.
And you're not letting other people influence you. And I think that's a great idea. I actually do that so sporadically. And, of course, we've all heard that everyone walking around has a lot to deal with. They might have just lost a spouse or a job or have a runaway kid or something. So I do try to give other people grace, but I'm just hearing you saying that you just flood yourself with all this positivity. I like that. I like that for me and for our listeners, because this is something we can all do if we look for it. And you've got some great resources that I'll share in the show notes. Like you said, the pocket Pegine. I can't wait. And so those all feed your boldness. And it seems to me when I look at you, this is so natural. I've seen you on stage. You're jumping around. You are full of energy. And I just kind of think, oh man, I wish I was like that naturally. But I think, like we said, you are a certain type of person. Just the background you shared, you are driven, and you're driven to be yourself and impact the world and impact yourself. Like one of your things that you say is that you want what you give me the quote that ends up with being paid well.
So it's be bold, be brave, be seen, be heard, be paid well.
I like the be paid well. We talked a little bit about how women sometimes undervalue ourselves. And
so you know what the problem with, I love you. I love everybody. And you have a lot of entrepreneurs
yes,
here. So let me just talk about something. I've been talking to my coaching clients, and we tend to want to say the word, I want to give my clients value.
mm-hmm.
I want to give my clients value. And then what you proceed to do is give overvalue. You give too much. So I'm not going to give a book. I'm going to give them 3 books. I'm not going to give them an hour. I'll stay 2 hours. Oh, I'm not going to give them just this because I want to give them value. I want to give them, they don't pay for your value. They don't pay for all the extra things that you're throwing in. They don't pay. That's not what they're getting. A great deal. They're negotiating with you. They now know the moment you said, how can I give you more value? How can I provide value with you? And they're like, I'm going to keep on asking more. So you've opened your door to be negotiated down. To actually, I meet women who get this stuff, make less money. And I'm talking about women who are making $1 million, but they've spent $1,205,000 to get the $1 million. And so they're in debt. And, that goes across the board. What they want from you is not what you think is your value. What they want from you is your genius. Let me just say that again. What they want from you is your genius. The years of experience to know why you know what you know. The examples that you've experienced so that you know what works. The books that you've read that you've been able to synthesize. And then when you're working with somebody, you can share wisdom that nobody else can give them the perspective that you have. They're buying your genius. They're buying your expertise. They're buying your confidence. They're buying from you the things that will make their life, solve their problems, solve their works. And your extra books, your extra goodies, your extra stuff is meaningless.
And actually, you say even worse than meaningless, it's devaluing you if you give, and that
Totally
reminds me of
devalue.
when I just want to say that, we have multiple books, 4 of them behind me in the Uncopyable series. And when new books come out, people want free books. And in general, they'll say, well, you've got them, whatever. And when people don't pay for our books, they don't read them.
Can I tell you something? When people pay for your books, they don't read them.
What's that?
So when people pay for your books, they often don't read them. I mean, there have been more than enough studies that people read the first chapter, they read the last paragraph. There was some author who wrote 2 great first chapters and 2 last great chapters. And then in the middle, he put gibberish. And he got great reviews. And it was because people read the first chapter, but then never realized that there was gibberish in the middle. This is very normal. So the thing about it is, we write books. Somehow we've come to the vision that when we write book, it's like birthing a baby. No, not really. You wrote a book. The book is on your shelf. It has a 2-year life, where you're going to be able to sell it for 2 years. It's not a baby. Baby's around for 47 years. I just read an article about a guy that they went to a place you get free oysters if you get free oysters if you're over 60 and you bring your father. And the father, he was 60, his father was 82, and they went and got free oysters, and they're waiting for the brother who gets it 2 years. Longevity works. Things will happen. The consistency you have. And so people aren't just buying that. They see the books, they see this and that street cred for sure. For sure. Some people, including me, have hundreds of books because when we were early on, they told us to buy thousands of books. And some of us have thousands of books. I had 6,000 books in my garage. We're down to 165. I think I could throw out the rest of them now. It's okay. What I mean to say is, they're not buying the book. They want to buy your genius that they hope they find in the book. They're still going to call you up if what they're reading is touching them. They're going to come. Can I have your genius? I need your genius. What we have to recognize is, and women especially, I am a genius.
Let's say that again. You women especially need to say, I am a genius. And you're saying, say it out loud, write it, get messages that prove it.
There's nothing, we had to prove it to ourselves every day. So these are the things I do before I go to sleep. Sometimes if I'm getting tired in the day, I'll go into the bathroom, I touch my heart, I touch my belly, and I touch my heart, and I say, I am protected. I am safe. I'm secure. I trust myself. I'm valuable. I'm capable. I'm worthwhile. I'm lovable. I am worthy. I'm prosperous. I'm abundant. And things always work out for me magnificently. So if I'm having a rough time, I'm in the bed and I'm doing this maybe 10 times. When I go to sleep, that's the last thing I say to myself, that mantra. That means the first thing when I wake up, that's what I say.
That is that's genius. I was going to say invaluable. I think everyone listening, and I'm listening, I think a lot of us do that stuff haphazardly when we think about it. I have a coach I'm working with, and calls your real commitments your no matter what goals. And so he doesn't go for all this, oh, I'll fit it in here or there. I like that you really have a Pegine system, basically, of keeping yourself bold. If you're not watching this, I really encourage you to watch, because Pegine, you can just tell she's uncopyable. And we are all uncopyable. But as we were talking before the recording, is that you also have to be memorable. You can have all of these things and they could be the best ideas, genius, whatever. But if people don't remember, who said that? Oh, yeah, the woman with the silver mohawk and the super cool glasses. So
It's right. And we were talking earlier, this is really important, is that if you have a difficult name, so my first name, Pegine, is a difficult name to remember, right?
yes,
It's a really difficult
I
name.
don't know any more Pegines.
But people will write it like they're penguin, they're Pegine. I mean, it's really funny. But people know my last name is difficult. So what I had to do is make a clear decision. If I have a difficult first name and a difficult last name, one of the challenges, you will never remember me, because it's very hard for you to spend the time remembering both. So years ago, decades ago, I just said I'm going by my first name. So people know me by my first name. Sometimes they can't remember how to say it, but they know to say, she goes by her first name. And people go, oh yeah, that's Pegine, right? They know me as that. And that's fantastic. What I recognize is also that I have to do it in certain ways that people remember. So I wrote a song so that people hear the jingle. Pegine, power, be feisty, be fearless, be focused, have fun. Pegine, power. Because I want people to remember the jingle. You may not remember the first name. You remember the Pegine power, just like we learned how to say, yum, yum, bumblebee, tuna. I want people to say Pegine power, because that they'll remember. We've got to be memorable in a world where most things are not memorable.
Right. And we blend. That's the whole uncopyable mantra, philosophy. Don't blend. And what I like about the Pegine as part of your brand, well, my name is Kay. I can't use my name, but I can use other things, and everyone listening can find something. I've known people that have bright red hair and they just play it up. And so I like that you found something about yourself that could really separate you. You were just born with that name, and it's a cool name. It's different, but listening, think about what's unusual about you or memorable about you, and jump on it like Pegine did and write a song.
Yeah. And you have to amplify it, right? So if people say to you, oh my gosh, I love your orange scarf. Wow, I love your orange scarf. I love that you like orange. I noticed that you push orange. So, right? So, orange. But then you go, okay, so how can I amplify that? How, if I feel that I could be the same person seeing stuff, right? How can I amplify it? Okay, so you get an orange sparkly blouse, you find orange suits, you find orange shoes, you find orange. You hand out oranges with K on it. Hey, the orange lady. Whatever it is that makes people go, oh, that's
the
you.
one.
And you have to be careful about it. I will say something. Don't go so corny that it's distracted from your mission. So I work in the corporate world a lot, right? Corporate and military world. If you saw how I used to go in to the Pentagon, I would wear lots of bling and I'd have leather on, and, which was really intimidating. But I would always tell the generals, you got your bling, I got mine, right? Because they would wear their stuff. But over time, I've also come to recognize how are you comfortable enough with who I am in my style that you'll book business with me?
Take you seriously, right?
Take me serious. Now, and so I know that people that see me, I could go into a corporate event. Oh my gosh, if I hear, I know that I scare people. I know that I intimidate people. I know that that's, that I do that just by them seeing me. That's how they feel. I haven't done anything to them yet. And so I will then make sure that they can see me as somebody that's relatable and sweet and funny and nice and all that stuff. But I also use the intimidation factor to say, that's right, I'm a genius here. I'm a
But we
standout.
just say, because I knew I was going to mention that to you. I wanted to ask you this question. You know what? I think I'm going to make this 2 episodes because I don't want to stop. My episodes are 30 minutes normally. But one thing I wanted to ask you, when you walk into a room full of executives, what do you do in the first few minutes that carries that message, establishes your credibility, sets you apart?
Walk the room. So I do 2 things, right? So let's say I'm walking into a room and there's 15 executives. I take control of the room. I figure out who's the top honcho. I meet them, and then I go extend my hand to meet every other person in the room. One is I already know that I'm standing out. I already know from the moment I walk in. I don't look like them. I'm not dressed like them. I'm not acting like them. So they don't know, if they haven't read the materials and they don't know who I am, they need to know who I am by my presence. So I walk through the whole room and shake their hands and talk to them. I will always, if it's a cocktail party or something with executives, I will always go and insert myself into those little circle of conversations, where people are having like a deep conversation. I'll always insert myself there. And I'll say, hi, I'm Pegine. How are you? I know you were in intense conversation. Was it a deal or were you thinking about the future? And
Very provocative, I'd say.
they don't know
What's that mean?
I don't know. We were talking about golfing on the 8 hole. I said, oh, now, so we could have a conversation. And then I just leave and go to the next because they still don't know me. They still don't know why I'm there. Still don't know who I am, but I'll do that. Now, I will say when it's women's groups, I really have to go and meet people because women freaking hold the wall. They stay together. So I have to make a huge energy effort to welcome them. So then I take a role of being the host of any event I go in, because if I'm the host, most of these events, right, are sponsored by somebody, right? There's no host. It's not like when somebody comes to your house for Thanksgiving and you're cooking dinner, right? And you have your adult child over there and you hear knock, knock. You say to your adult kid, look at the door, welcome them in, take their coat, see if they want something to drink, right? That's what you do because you're cooking. You can't go and do that. At an event, the person who's running the event can't go around the room at that point, especially in the beginning, to meet everybody. But you can go in and become the host, know where the foods are, know where the bathroom is. And then you walk around the room saying, hi, I'm Kay. Are you having a good time? Do you know where the food and the restrooms are? Where are they? Over there. That's great. Is there anybody that you particularly would love to meet while you're here? And they'll go, no, well, I know. So what industry are you in? I'm in banking. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to keep on going around and saying, if I find somebody, what should I be looking out for you? Because I want to make sure this is a great experience for you. And they'll say, oh, I'd love to speak to an entrepreneur. Okay, great. So then you move around. Hello, my name is Kay. What's your name? I'm George. Hey, George, how are you? Did you get something to drink? And not yet. Okay, well, the drinks are over there. I'm so happy that you're here. What brings you here? Well, my boss told me to come here. Oh, really? What kind of work is it? Oh, we're a new entrepreneurial company and we're just growing in town and we want to be here. Do you? Okay, that's great. I meet somebody. Can I introduce somebody to you if I meet them? Yes. So you go around the whole room. Then you breathe. And then you do it again. Remember the banker that you met the first time? You say, I think I might have found somebody. Let me see if I see him. Oh, yeah. Would you like to come with me? He's still standing in the same exact spot, just as we all do. And you take her to meet him. And now they're talking.
I love Okay.
What you're doing is you're creating a swirl of energy. And what people are doing is watching you. Who is that? Who's that? They seem to know everybody. Who's that? You don't know anybody. You're the only one that's going around the room. She must be so important. That's right, I am, because I'm Kay Miller. I am important. But now you've broken the bubble, right? Now you made an impact. So that's what I do.
So that does sound like it takes courage and guts. And I like to ask myself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And maybe that's not very positive, but I love that you join conversations and I kept hearing you say the word you. So you're not saying I'm Pegine and, I want to meet you and I do this and that and blah, blah, blah. And you connect people. I tell you, you can't win. I mean, you could compliment their kid, but connecting people. And I had a mastermind among women for a while, and my greatest joy was seeing them connect with each other, helping each other. So you have a big focus on the other person and connections. If you can connect someone and they become partners or customers or vendor, whatever, that's powerful.
I don't need to tell my name. Honestly, I don't need to tell. They all talk with each other. They'll they find out my name. I don't need to mention it. I don't need to say it. I'm just walking the room and bringing people, saying hi and welcome. I'm acting like the host. I have never had a host say, stop doing that. This is my party. I've never had anybody say that to me. And, I just want to talk to you about that courage piece. I'm a systems person. I'm a process person. If I know what the system is and the process is, it's not courage. I'm doing my job. My job when I go to an event, because I'm shy. I know people don't believe this, but I'm shy. I hate doing this crap. I hate it. The ways beyond your walls I don't like it at all. So I had to make a process. This is my mission. This is what I do. I could go around the room twice. If it's a cocktail party, like one of these networking events, I could go the room run twice and then I leave. I am out of there. Same thing if I'm at an event and it's a conference or something and they're having a band, I'll be the first one out. I know that I could dance 2 dances. They always need one person to start the dance. I go up, I do my dance, I do my 2 dance, and then everybody else comes on the dance floor and then I leave and go to my room. I don't need to stay for the whole event.
You don't. And I want to ask you, after this, I want to ask you about your hair. But first of all, oh my gosh, what did I write down? I like the fact that you said just by doing that, other people are going to watch you and say, oh, she must be well connected. She must know a lot of people, when what you're doing is going around and talking to everyone, which I know people don't do that. We get in our little clique and we're comfortable, we're safe, and our tendency is to not do that. So I love that. And you say you work that into a process. This is my purpose. These are the things I'm going to do. And you do that. That does creating a framework for yourself. I think that would be really helpful because it's just like, that's what I do. I'm not going to walk in the room and say, oh, what should I do? I know what I'm going to do.
That's right. So when I get to an event, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm on mission, be the host, walk the room twice, and I can leave. And seriously, I leave. Like I did my thing. And people will say, oh my God, you're everywhere. We saw you at here. No, I'm not sitting there having long talks. I don't I don't go do coffees. I don't do one-on-ones like that. I just don't. You've got to be, because a one-on-one going for coffee is actually 4 hours.
with one
And
person.
I'm not going to do that. It's not, one is my energy that drains my energy, and my energy is everything. I am always protecting myself.
And I think it's interesting. I'm just going to go back to one word that you used that I find hard to believe, and that is that you're shy. And
Oh yeah.
it doesn't
I'm an
seem like you're
introvert.
shy, but also I like everybody else on this call. A lot of people think they're shy. A lot of people feel shy, and especially when they get out of their comfort zone. So if you, a shy person, could do this, we can do this. And I want to talk about when you decided you used to have a hair, like I said, like mine. What made you decide to do that? That's pretty big, bold move.
So I have been dyeing my hair for years. My hair is extremely thin. And oh God, I don't know if I have my first book. I don't see it here. My first book, they told me, I used to wear my hair very short, because it's so thin. My first book, they told me, the publisher said, well, you have to have longer hair. They won't buy books. They don't buy books from women with short hair. I was like,
would anyone say that to a man?
No. Oh, they wouldn't. But I was like, oh, what? So I got this haircut, which was like a little page boy, the bangs over here. And I mean, I looked like a little Dutch boy, right? That was my hair. And I had that hair. Now, remember, my hair is super, super thin. And I don't have a lot of it. So I would use tons of hairspray to try to keep everything in place for years. Oh, for years. And my husband would, forget if when I was presenting, I had hair, my hair was like all over it. I looked like a wet, oh, it was terrible. And I suffered for years and years with it, trying to get this thing to look like whatever everybody was saying that it should look like, right? So the pandemic came and I'm dyeing my hair. I'm in the bathroom doing my dyeing hair, and I went, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't even know what my hair looks like. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it feels like. But I'm tired of this. I'm not gonna do this. But remember, hairdressers weren't really open back then, right? Everything was kind of closed down. So the first thing I did was I stopped that dye. The second thing that I did was I took scissors to my own hair and just started cutting it, which was not a good thing to do. Not a good thing to do.
No, don't try.
Now, do not try. There was a hairdresser that was open. She had opened it just before the pandemic, so she was in the survival mode. And I went to them. I said, I need to take this hair dye out. I want to see my natural color. That was a disaster. They took my hair dye out, and see the color of your scarf? That's what the color of my hair was. Oh. It was not red. It was bright orange. But that didn't work out. So I got home and David was like, what's going on? Oh my gosh. And I went, that's done. I'm making a mohawk. I'm just cutting it all off. So I took my hair and I cut it. And then there was brake flips, one of these low end. And I went over there. I said, I'm ready. Just give me a mohawk. Just buzz it all off. Get me a mohawk. And they did. And he did this. And I walked home. I felt liberated. I felt free. I felt alive. I felt badass. I felt magnificent. I felt joy. And that was still with my orange in the middle, right? I just felt amazing. And when I got home, I didn't know what my husband was going to say at all. I got home and he was, holy mackerel, you look amazing. Wow, that's amazing.
You do. And I like that you said it changed everything about the way you feel about yourself. Or
it changed everything. So then what was happening, it became a joke. My husband, we would go out and I would have an average 10 people stopping me. Like if we went to the mall, if we went to a restaurant, I love your hair. I love your hair. Oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. I've never had that in my whole entire life. Okay. That was the last thing anybody would have say to me in my lifetime. It just was a, and then it just became, first it was super easy because I wash my hair in the morning. It does boom, 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 spray my hair, and it stays all day long. All day long. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to futz with it. I don't feel it. I don't do anything with it. It's just there. And then AI came out and I took a picture of myself and I uploaded AI and I said to AI, all right, this is who I am. I speak to women. I'm a badass. I do this stuff. And then AI came with this picture. Can you see this?
I can. It looks great. It's the outfit, the glasses, which you have very cool glasses too. And the hair. I mean, the hair, like you said, that you have the guts to do that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I stopped using hair extensions because my hair's thin and then it pulled it out. I broke it off. My hairdresser, I'm like, maybe I should go gray. And she said, absolutely not. That'll be $200 for coloring my hair. So yeah, I can see why it'd be free.
I was liberated. I've never felt free in my life. First off, I had no idea my hair was this color, which is magnificent. I love my hair. I love my color. I love how it looks. And I'm able to say that all without, it just is. I just love it. And my kids love it. It's been funny because I've bumped into other people that have Mohawks, usually a lot younger than I am, but it's me.
Well, as I said, I saw an old picture of you. When did you do this? Because the picture that I saw gives such a different impression than how you look, which is awesome. So when did you?
Yeah. So I did this. I have something that I could show people. I did this in
share the screen.
Hold on a minute. Let me just find it before we do that. I did. I'm going to say it had to be 2020, maybe. Okay. I'm trying to we just did something new and I could show you if you want to see what I was looking like or who I am. Boy, let me just look at this for a minute. If it's okay with you.
Might allow other people to share button. So may or may not work.
Yeah. Let me just see this. Oh yeah. Okay. So for those people that can look,
they've changed.
You don't know how to do it.
They allow multiple participants to share. So all
right. So don't worry about it.
I don't have to worry.
But I went from looking a certain way to looking this, and I'm grateful for it. So massively.
And you know what? I think it's interesting. If you didn't have thin hair, you might not have ever realized that. So it was a blessing in the end.
Oh, totally. Absolutely, positively. It was a total blessing. I feel like I'm...
So yeah,
here we go.
Wrap this up, but you have given so many great specific things as I asked you to do and real action steps that I think will really affect how we feel about ourselves, how we act. Do you have any last words of wisdom? And then I also want you to mention the Pegine in a pocket or however you said that. Sorry.
Yeah. So no problem. The main thing is just what you tell yourself is your truth. And nobody needs to know what you tell yourself. So that's the big thing is you don't need to announce to your family, your husband, this is what I'm thinking about. I think I'm fantastic. I think I'm awesome. I think I'm great. You can do that eventually one day when you feel comfortable. But right now, you're washing those dishes. You're going, I am amazing. I am great. I love myself so much. I've always loved myself. Gosh, this feels good saying this. I want more of this. I want to feel more of this. You start like that. And then you'll forget that you said it. So you could put stickers on. If you don't want to put stickers in your bathroom so other people can see, You put them in your makeup bag. You put them where you open your lipstick. You put it in your pocketbook so you see it. And you put it in, I used to wear a charm bracelet, and I had it where now you could get engraving on it. I wrote in my charm bracelets. Nobody read the charm bracelets except for me. So I had like rows of them. I'm fantastic. I'm a genius. I'm awesome. And I would wear them because people would see me wear bracelets, right?
Bangles,
And
yeah.
I got them all engraved. I wear them because I'm the only one that's reading it. I'm the one that had to remind me I'm great. Because nobody else is walking around saying, okay, you're great. You're awesome. I mean, we have coaching clients. We have people that say that knows. But every day when you wake up in the morning, does somebody say that to you? No. I've been married 43 years. Trust me. No. But I say it to me.
And that's really the most important person. Although we sometimes value it from other people, but we are the only ones who can change this. Okay, everybody listening, go color your hair and cut it super short and give yourself positive reminders. Pegine, mention your Pegine in a pocket Pegine. I keep
Pocket Pegine, POCKETPEGINE.com. Pocket Pegine.
I like that. And, but like Pegine, she's using your name, you're using your name as a differentiator. You happen to have a really interesting name, but we all have something interesting that we can go big.
Absolutely.
I have just been blessed by our time together. And I know our listeners have lots of things that we can do right now that will help us for a long time. So, Pegine, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. Take care, y'all.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Uncopyable Women in Business. If you enjoyed it, please follow, rate, and review the show. And be sure to visit beuncopyable.com/K. Always remember, be uncopyable.